Where are you going?
Hey everyone, it's Skyee here, and today we're going to go through my finished pages of 2018. I didn't do any completed page videos at all last year. The only pages that you really saw on YouTube were the ones that we colored on live streams or in color-alongs. So it is going to change this year. I will be doing a completed pages video probably once every second or like third month maybe. Just because I don't think I really color enough sometimes in a month to be able to have enough to show on a video, so every 2 or 3 months we'll probably have a completed page video this year. But for now, let's go through the pages from last year, and I think my count was at about 64 pages I completed last year, which definitely isn't a lot compared to some of you, but for me, I was quite surprised that that's how much I colored, especially given how busy I was last year. So yeah, we're going to start off with Hannah Lynn's pages, and I'll just go in the order of the books, but the pages aren't really in any particular order. So I completed this, and this is from Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy. This is one of the books that I took the pages out of, and I do regret it. So my goal is to finish all the pages in that book and then get them spiral bound. I do go in and paint the borders black for this book and the Enchanted Faces book, just because I can, because the pages are out. So yeah, this was Willow, and I'm fairly happy with her. Apologies for the camera shaking. Miss Lila's up on the shelf. I'm not completely happy on how her skin turned out. Mostly just the blush part. I think it looks a little bit clowny, but overall I did quite enjoy her, and she's got tons of glitter and stickles on the page, really to bring out those gold accents. Super happy with her. Another one that I finished, this is Showtime. Again, it's got a little bit of glitter in her hair. Nothing too crazy with glitter. There's some on the elephant and stuff. I really, really love how this one turned out. Probably one of my favorites. Just overall super happy. And I did this mostly with Prismacolor Premiers. I think some glitter paint or maybe some stickles. I'm not really sure. And then the background was done with Inktense. Next up we have Nellie, and she's kind of a punk rock kind of mermaid. I wanted to try a different skin tone color. I don't think this was for a challenge, but I just wanted to do a different kind of skin tone, so I came up with this blue one that I actually really, really love. You will definitely be seeing more mermaids with this color skin. Absolutely love it. I love everything about this one. It did take quite a bit because of the background. We do have glitter in the bubbles, and that's about it. I wanted to keep that one fairly simple. Next we have Birthday Girl, and this one was done with Prismacolor Scholars. Just assume that they're done with the Prismacolor Premiers unless I say otherwise. But yeah, this one was done with Scholars. Really loved how this one turned out. I love the color palette. I did add some extra details. For example, the balloons didn't have the zebra print on, so I added that in. I don't think her dress had the zebra print down here, or maybe it did. I can't quite remember. No, I think it did have the zebra print here, but it didn't up here. So I just kind of added in a little bit more details in to just kind of make everything match and a little bit easier to color. So yeah, that's how she turned out. Next we have Vixie, and she was done as a color along in, I think it was November's color along, I believe. So there is a 4 or 5 part color along, counting the fur on the cat, which took like an hour itself, and a speed color on my channel if you're interested and haven't seen that yet. Here we have Misty Morning, and this one, I absolutely love how she turned out. I love the fog or the mist in the background, and the diluted down acrylic paint to make the water actually look like water but still see-through. Absolutely love that. We did this on a few live streams, so the majority of the process of this one is up on YouTube too, as well as a time-lapse version if you're interested. I don't think we did all of the hair on live stream though, just because basically this whole picture was hair, so it would have taken way too long. we have Snow White, and I actually used the Marco Raffine pencils for this, and for her hair, I also used markers as well as a base, and for her hair, I just did a blue marker base, and then went over with my Posca pen to create some realistic hair texture, and that's how I did that. Absolutely love this page too. I wanted to make it kind of wintry and super whimsical, kind of a different version of Snow White. I kind of imagine her hair being white, thus the name Snow White, rather than it being her skin, the reason for her name. But yeah, there's a little bit of stickles on the butterflies on this page. Next up we have Library Fairy. This was done with ink tints and pastels for the background, and this was also done on live streams too, so all of this is available in live stream as well as time-lapse version. Super happy with how she turned out, and we did put Wink of Stella on her wings, although it's so subtle that I don't think the camera's going to pick it up. And then other than that, we do have some metallic gel pen on her glasses to kind of make those stand out too. Next up is A Princess is Born, and this was done on live streams as well and is also available in time-lapse, and this was done with the Marco Raffine pencils. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Glad to have it done with, because this is one of those pages where you look at and just think, oh my god, it's going to take forever, and it did, but I'm happy that it's done. Next we have Red Riding Hood, and this one I believe was mostly Prismacolors too. I don't think I used anything else, no glitter or anything, pretty simple background. I think the only kind of accent I have here is the handle is metallic gel pen, and that's about it. But I really love how this one turned out. I love the limited palette, the woodsy feel, just overall love this one. And lastly, from Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy, we have Berry Branches, and this one I actually just recently finished, and I have to say I'm not quite happy with the skin. I wanted more of like an Asian or Japanese skin tone, and while it could pass for like a darker Japanese skin tone, I wanted it to be a little bit lighter, and it looks more Native American to me, which is usually how my skin tones turn out because I love Native American skin tones, so for some reason I always turn them into that. But I think it still kind of works for her, and definitely had fun with this one. My glitter aspect here is just her tail. Again, I kind of love the colors that I used for this. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I think it really worked. So next we have pages from Enchanted Faces, and again I did take them out just to make it a little bit easier. If I can find them here, where did I put them? Oh, there we go. So same thing, I took that book apart. I regret it. It's going to get spiral bound once I'm finished, and I'm going over the borders with black paint. So first up we have Atlantis Mermaid. I think that's the name. Yeah. And this is probably one of my favorites, just everything about this picture, the picture itself, the limited colors. I'm just super proud of this one. And then of course her tail and the castle in the background is super glittery. The camera is not even doing it justice. This page is just gorgeous. Next we have Jasmine, and I was kind of inspired by Jackie Young's version of this, so I decided to do my own, kind of similar to hers, but with my own color palette. I did like the sparkles that Jackie had in the eyes of the girl, so I kind of mimicked that as well. There's no sparkles on this page, surprisingly, but definitely really like how it turned out, especially the hair. This is probably my favorite version of black hair. Next we have Wish on a Star, and this was actually my first ever live stream, and then also my participation part in Sammy's Colorathon last year. So this is available on a series of live streams and in time-lapse as well. Pretty simple. I think we used Prismacolor for her, and then I want to say we used ink tints for the background. Maybe it was Neocolors. I can't quite remember if I had them yet at that time, but just super pretty, simple background, simple picture, and then of course we made the star glitter because you gotta have stickles on there somewhere. This is Shariella, and I know she looks crazy. This was done for a negative challenge, so this is in all the negative colors, and I will try to remember to put in a picture of how this actually is supposed to look with the negative filter on it. So basically, you went with the opposite colors of what you actually wanted the girl to look like. And my goodness, did this take forever because I wanted all of the lines to be black as well. So I had to go over all of these lines in white. So it was super tricky to kind of get the hang of it, but it definitely worked out in the end, minus her face. I did mess up a little bit on her face because that's the first thing I did. But after her face, I definitely got the hang of it. And lastly, from Enchanted Faces, we have Cali Girl. And this was done in video as well and is available in time-lapse. I think we did pretty much everything except finish the hair on time-lapse because there's quite a bit to it. And this was done for a challenge as well, but I didn't put it on the back. I think this was done for like a zombie challenge maybe. So yeah, that's how she turned out. Okay, so next we have Sweet and Simple. I did have a little bit of a goal last year, and that was to finish a page in each of my books, which I think I managed to do. I also had a goal to finish Mermaids, Fairies, and Other Girls of Whimsy, and I'm almost halfway finished it. I think I have like 3 more pages to the halfway point, but that's going to be my goal this year, so there'll be tons of Mermaids and Fairies in all of the completed pages videos for this year. Anyways, so the page that I completed in Sweet and Simple was Tin Girl, and I'm really happy with how she turned out too. I wanted to kind of stay away from the traditional tin character from Oz, make her a little bit different, and I'm super happy with how she turned out. I love the little yellow brick road around her, just super cool, and I think I used Prismacolors for most of this, and all of these little circles and bolts and stuff are super shiny. So I think that's the only one I finished this year from that. Next was I Dream in Color, and the one I finished from this is She Believed, So She Became. And I had a completely different background done for this one, but I actually ended up not really liking it, so I went back over with acrylic paint, which kind of made some of the details hard to see, but definitely like how it turned out. Absolutely love this hair color on the girls. This one was super fun to do. So this was a mixture of Prismacolor Premiers, and I believe that I used the Neo Color Twos for the clouds. Page I completed in Tattoo Darlings was Sparrow, and she is another one of my favorites. I just love everything about her, and I decided for this book what I'm going to do is just kind of keep each girl to a limited color palette, and then the tattoos will all be done in the Inktense because I kind of like the way that it makes it look. And then they're all going to have at least one glitter aspect, and for Sparrow that was her wing. So super happy with that. This is one of my favorite books. I can't wait to work more in it. Next we have Enchanted Halloween. So this is Waiting for Guests. Super happy with this one too. I do wish I would have done the background a little bit differently though. Maybe kind of kept it more dark and more monotoned rather than have a whole bunch of different colors in there. I just feel like it's a little bit distracting. But pretty happy with that. And then of course I had to make her bolts sparkly, as well as the moon and the lightning bolts in the background. This was our color along for October. This is Ghost Ship, and I still absolutely love how she turned out. I don't think we did any sparkly aspects in here, but we do have a metallic silver shoe buckle here. Oh, and her earring, as well as the portholes on the boat. But yeah, really happy with how this turned out. So this is available in real-time color along as well as time-lapse as well. Next up we have a Whimsy Girls Christmas. This was our color along in December, Holly Wreath Fairy. So this is available in real-time color along as well as time-lapse. We kept it to a limited color palette, super fun to do all the... Can't think of the name for that right now. I want to say cotton, but that's not right. Anyways, the fuzzy texture stuff. Let's just go with that. And then of course we had to put in a little bit of stickles in around the wreath to make it stand out a little bit more. Super fun. Love how she turned out. This one was also done in a color along, I believe in July. This was our Christmas in July color along. And we kind of did this to mimic the other one that I did, which was this one. But rather than make it the exact same, we did a pink version, and that's how she turned out. And then, of course, we've got glitter on the entire background. Next is Fairy Tale Princesses and Storybook Darlings, and this is Tinkerbell, and I'm really happy with how she turned out. Again, the whole background is glittery on this one, as well as her wings. And the fairy dust in the bottle, you can kind of see it. Really happy with how she turned out. I added the choker and I think the earrings too. I could be wrong. Maybe one of the earrings was there and I added another. I'm not 100% sure. I guess I could check and see. Yeah, I added the earrings in. So I kind of wanted to make her look a little bit more grown up. So that's how she turned out. Next we have Maui Mermaids and Island Whimsy Girls. So this is Starfish Dreams. I did this for my review of the book, and I threw some glitter in randomly along the lines of her hair as well, and I really like how that looks on the mermaids. It just kind of adds a little bit something extra to them. So pretty much everything was done with the Prismacolors except for the background, which was done with the Inktense. And another thing I really loved was making her lips match her hair color. Super fun to do that. Here we have Ukulele Sunset. I don't know why I feel like I say that word funny every time. And this was actually a color along. I can't remember for which month, but this one's available in full color along as well as time lapse. And actually this one I do believe was a hair tutorial as well, and it's available in time lapse. But anyways, super happy with this one. It is a little bit busy. It's got a lot of colors in there and a lot going on, but I feel like they all kind of complement each other. And then we had to be a little bit extra, and I used nail polish for the sea to make it super shiny and reflective. We definitely went really extra and actually put in the reflections as well. My brain is not working today, I apologize. And we did use nail polish as well to make her fin and tail shiny or glittery. So really happy with that one. And lastly, for Hannah's books, we also have Victorian Darlings, and we did this one on live stream. This is Tilly. Super fun to do. I love the springtime vibes from this, and just the limited color palette and everything about it, really. We've got our little reflection of the bird and the water, kind of, just a little bit of blurred color, and I really like that. It's a nice touch. The only thing that didn't work out as well as I wanted it to was the main color of her dress. I feel like the shadows could have been a little bit darker to make it a little bit more dramatic, but it turned out good. And we've got all of the flowers and the clouds super glittery, so super, super happy with this one. In the beginning of the video, but I suppose it doesn't really matter, we can put it in the end. I was going to show the new coloring books that I got throughout the year. So Victorian Darlings was one of them, and I do have Steampunk Darlings going to be on the way shortly here. Another one that I got last year was Camilla de Erico's Pop Manga Mermaids. Really love this one. I also picked up Johanna's Christmas last year, just so we had something else to color in aside from Hannah's books. And then for Christmas, my mom got me, or actually, hold on here. No, we've got more. So last year I also grabbed the, just trying to check my list here. So we've got the Jasmine Beckett Griffith Halloween is a new one, and then also Mermaids. I had to pick up both of those. What else do we have here? I grabbed Fantasy Girls by Marty Joe's Coloring, and this is just more of like a simple one that could be good for practicing skin tones and other stuff in. Nothing too fancy or anything. Let's see here. I also won Irene off of Instagram. So that was a new one to my collection early last year. And another one was Nice Little Town, and I picked this one up. I haven't really colored much. I've done this in here, and that's about it. I'm really not a huge fan of this paper. I'm not sure if I'll be getting any more of these books in the future, but I did add this one to my collection. Let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And the last two that I added, so I did add 10 books to my collection this year. And these were gifted to me by my mom, so she picked up Mythographic, and actually technically I did, but she insisted on paying for it and then kept it. So super happy to have this one. It's got a lot going on though, it's going to be tedious. And then another one my mom grabbed for me was the Coloring Heaven Halloween special. And I absolutely had to have this after seeing Kate's flip through. There is not one design in here that I don't want to color, so super happy to have this. And of course, my mom tried to surprise me by getting it, but she forgets that I've known her for like 24 years now, so it's a little bit hard to surprise me when I know her. Anyways, those are the added books to my collection. It's quite a hefty pile, and I do remember last year that I said I wasn't going to be adding any more, but I just can't help myself. Anyways, that's it for this part, and we'll probably only have one more part. It might be a little bit longer. I do have still quite a few pages to go through, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next week in part 2. Bye!